Ever feel like you're stuck on autopilot, like you're just going through the motions instead of really living?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's where today's deep dive comes in.
Okay.
We're talking about investing in yourself and no, not just buying another online course you'll never finish.
Right.
We're dissecting this article from that's Life 24/7 called 10 Ways You Should Invest in Yourself.
Okay.
It's full of useful tips, but we're going beyond the buzzwords to uncover what makes this stuff really work.
Yeah. It's about understanding the why behind the what, and more importantly, how you can actually apply these ideas to your own life.
Exactly. And the article jumps right in with this idea of taking responsibility, not the blame yourself kind, but realizing you actually have the power to change things.
Yeah, like shifting from a passenger mindset to being the driver of your own life.
Yes.
People who feel in control, who believe their actions directly impact their outcomes, they're way more likely to actively invest in their own growth.
It's like that moment you realize you're not a tree, you can actually move.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
remember when I first started applying this, I used to blame everything and everyone else for my own unhappiness.
Right.
But once I started focusing on what I could control, even small changes, it was like a weight lifted.
Oh, I bet.
And that segues perfectly into the article's next point.
Yeah.
Setting goals that don't fizzle out before February. They're big on this SMART goals framework.
Oh, yeah.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound.
Yeah, think of it like planning a cross-country road trip. You wouldn't just hop in the car and expect to magically arrive at your destination, would you?
No.
You'd map out your route, break it down into manageable daily drives, maybe even schedule some fun stops along the way.
Otherwise, you'd end up stranded in the middle of nowhere wondering where it all went wrong.
Exactly.
And the article actually gives this great example of breaking down a reading goal. Instead of saying, I'm going to read more this year, which, let's be honest, we've all said and failed at,
Oh, yeah.
they suggest aiming for 12 books, one per month. Totally doable,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. And think about this. Joining a book club can not only help you stay accountable, but also introduce you to new genres and perspectives you might not have considered otherwise.
Now, the article dives into the classic self-investment territory. Physical health, we've all heard it before.
Yeah.
Eat well, exercise, get enough sleep. But they don't just tell you what to do, they explain why it matters.
Because it's not just about fitting into those skinny jeans, it's about giving your body the fuel it needs to function at its best. When you're properly nourished, well-rested, and physically active, it impacts everything from your energy levels to your mood to your ability to handle stress.
It's like the difference between running a car on fumes versus a full tank of premium gas. Even incorporating little things like the article suggests, a 30-minute walk each day or even just some stretches, if you're desk-bound all day, can make a world of difference.
Yeah.
What's something you do, even if it's small, to prioritize your physical well-being?
You know, I'm a big believer in the power of a good night's sleep.
Oh, yeah.
I used to wear my lack of sleep as a badge of honor, but once I started prioritizing those 7, 8 hours, it was like a complete game changer.
Wow.
I felt more focused, more energetic, and just generally happier.
I hear you. I'm a total sleep evangelist now.
Yeah.
But the article doesn't stop at physical health. It dives head first into emotional well-being, reminding us that our feelings are just as important as our physical health.
Absolutely. And this is where self-awareness comes in. It's about paying attention to your emotions, figuring out what triggers those negative spirals, and developing healthy coping mechanisms to navigate them.
It's like having a toolkit for your emotions. You wouldn't try to fix a leaky faucet with a hammer.
Right. No way.
Same goes for your emotional well-being.
Exactly. And the article provides some really practical tools, talking to someone you trust, practicing mindfulness, even setting healthy boundaries.
Right.
These aren't just fluffy self-help terms. They're about equipping yourself to handle whatever life throws your way.
And sometimes we need a little help building that toolkit. That's where the article's advice on finding a mentor or coach really resonated with me.
Having someone in your corner who's been there, done that, can be invaluable.
Yeah.
Think of a mentor like a seasoned hiker who knows the best trails, the potential pitfalls, and can offer guidance based on their own experience.
Okay. I'm loving that analogy. So where does a coach fit into the picture?
A coach is more like your personal trainer for your goals. They help you create a customized plan, push you to achieve your full potential, and hold you accountable.
So if a mentor is the experienced hiker, a coach is like your super supportive, always cheering you on hiking buddy.
Exactly.
The article even offers some actionable tips on finding the right mentor. It's about identifying your goals, seeking out people you admire, and not being afraid to reach out.
And don't underestimate the power of networking. Attending industry events, joining online communities, you never know where you'll connect with someone who could become a valuable mentor.
It's about putting yourself out there, even if it feels a little uncomfortable at first.
Absolutely. And speaking of stepping outside your comfort zone, the article dives into the ever-evolving world of skill development.
Yes, it emphasizes the importance of continuous learning, which, let's be honest, can feel overwhelming in today's fast-paced world.
It's no longer enough to have one skill set for life.
Right.
Think about it. The jobs we have today might not even exist in 10 years.
It's like trying to pay rent with currency from a board game. It's not going to fly. So how do we stay ahead of the curve?
By being lifelong learners. The article highlights areas like digital skills, those are a given these days, but also soft skills like communication and problem solving, analytical thinking, and even leadership.
Yeah.
These are transferable across any industry.
It's about being adaptable, curious, and always willing to learn something new. But there's something that can really sabotage our efforts to level up, and the article dives right into it. Guilt.
Ah, yes, that feeling of shoulda, coulda, woulda that can keep us stuck in the past.
Totally. Like that time I tried to bake a birthday cake without a recipe. Let's just say it ended with a smoke alarm and a trip to the bakery. I still cringe thinking about it.
We've all been there. But the article makes a key distinction between healthy guilt, which motivates positive change, and unproductive guilt, which just keeps us paralyzed.
It's like the difference between a nudge to do better and a giant stop sign.
Yeah.
So how do we escape the unproductive guilt trap?
The article outlines a three-step process. Acknowledge the feeling, apologize if necessary, and most importantly, learn from it. It's about reframing those failures as opportunities for growth.
Turning those oops moments into aha moments. I love that. And you know, it pairs really well with ditching the guilt.
Cultivating a positive mindset.
Bingo. And this isn't just about slapping on a happy face and pretending everything is perfect. The article actually delves into the science behind positivity.
Right. It's not just wishful thinking. There's actual research behind it.
Yeah.
For example, a study at the University of California, Berkeley found that people who practiced gratitude regularly reported feeling more optimistic and experiencing fewer physical symptoms of illness.
That's incredible. It's like positivity is its own form of preventative medicine. And the article provides some really tangible strategies for cultivating this superpower. Limiting negative influences, practicing gratitude, engaging in uplifting activities, even simple things like surrounding yourself with positive people can make a big difference.
Absolutely. And speaking of the people we surround ourselves with, the article doesn't shy away from a topic that can feel a little prickly. Criticism.
Oh, yeah, that's always a fun one. But I appreciate that they don't just tell us to ignore the haters. Instead, they frame criticism as a potential growth opportunity.
Because let's face it, not all criticism is created equal. There's a big difference between constructive feedback that can help us improve and plain old negativity that's just meant to tear us down.
It's like the difference between a helpful coach and that one friend who always has something negative to say no matter what. So how do we tell the difference?
It's about paying attention to the source, you know? Is it coming from a place of genuine care, or is it laced with, like, hidden agendas? And how does it make you feel?
Right, like that gut feeling of ouch versus, that's an interesting point.
Exactly. And even if the criticism stings a bit, it's about trying to, like, detach from that initial emotional reaction and look for any nuggets of truth. Maybe there's something you can learn from it, even if it's just a lesson in setting better boundaries with that particular person.
It's like sifting for gold. Sometimes you have to sort through a lot of dirt to find those valuable nuggets. And the article provides some really helpful tips for dealing with those under construction moments. Listen carefully, separate facts from opinions, and most importantly, don't take it personally.
Because at the end of the day, you get to choose how much power you give to someone else's opinion.
You're the CEO of your own emotional boardroom. And speaking of CEOs, remember how we talked about self-investment being like running a successful company? Well, every good CEO knows that celebrating wins is crucial, and the article wraps up with a really fun point: rewarding yourself.
It might seem kind of counterintuitive, but taking the time to acknowledge and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small, can be a powerful motivator.
It's like giving yourself a well-deserved promotion. And it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. The article mentions things like buying yourself a small gift, enjoying a fun outing with friends, or even just taking a relaxing evening to recharge.
The key is to find what truly motivates you, what makes you feel celebrated and appreciated. It's about recognizing your own hard work and giving yourself permission to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground today, from taking responsibility to cultivating positivity to even turning those oops moments into aha moments.
Uh,
As we wrap up our deep dive into self-investment, is there one key takeaway, one golden nugget of wisdom you'd like to leave our listeners with?
that's a great question. If I had to boil it all down to one thing, it would be this: be kind to yourself throughout the process.
Ooh, I love that. Tell me more.
Self-investment isn't about reaching some mythical finish line where you suddenly become the perfect version of yourself. It's about the continuous journey of learning, growing, and evolving. And that journey will inevitably have its ups and downs. There will be setbacks, there will be moments of self-doubt, and that's okay.
It's not about being perfect, it's about being present and engaged in the process.
Exactly. Celebrate your progress, learn from your mistakes, and remember that you are capable of incredible things.
So, to all our amazing listeners out there, I hope you're walking away from this deep dive feeling inspired and empowered to invest in yourselves in ways that feel authentic and meaningful to you.
Because you are worth it, and the world needs what you have to offer.
Absolutely. So go out there, embrace the journey, and keep shining your light. We'll be here next time with another deep dive into something amazing. Until then, happy exploring.